Welcome to another edition of the Big Nick Energy Podcast. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on TikTok, follow us on YouTube, join our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, anything you can imagine. You can look up Big Nick Energy. We're on. I have a very special guest today. We're gonna live vicariously through him because his team, unlike the team that we all root and cheer for, has moved up in the draft lottery, technically at the same odds as the other two teams there, or two of the other three teams there, but they got the first overall pick, and the Knicks haven't moved up since Patrick effing Ewing. So Evan Townsend, who covers Project Spurs and is their draft analyst, how the hell are you doing today, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on, dude. Like I said, obviously, that's very well known throughout the NBA. The Knicks never move up in the draft in any way, shape, or form. There's Zion. We get our.
Could you guys rigged it? Could you guys rigged it?
Yeah, did we? I think that's David's turn. Honestly, I don't. And also, we never even won a title because Michael Jordan came in right afterwards. So we got a whole lot of nothing.
Envelope, Joe. Curse since the frozen envelope.
Yeah. I mean, if Adam Silver wanted to do us any justice, he would actually frozen the Mavericks envelope and made them go 11, so we would have got the pick. But Evan, I have you on today. So the Spurs are obviously going number one overall, as everyone knows by now. Like I was telling you pre-recording, I obviously have seen Wembyama. Most of us have one way or another at this point, averaging 21, 10, and 4.5 blocks with a 7'5" height, 7'4", 7'5" height, 7'9", 7'10" wingspan. Mm-hmm. To start off, how excited were you watching the draft lottery as of someone that covers and watches the Spurs daily?
Man, wow. So I was actually hosting a Twitter space with my guy Ben. Shout out to him. He was watching it, and I was actually just listening to the picks in my car, and I just monitoring and how do I say, what's the word? Just making sure I don't say the wrong thing. That's the best way to say it. I was super excited. The nerves, I literally was sweating. I was sweating throughout the whole draft process. We'll talk about how this may be rigged in a bit, but leading up to the top 5 picks, I have never had my heart beat through my shirt before. I literally saw my heart beat through my shirt. And, the city of San Antonio as a whole was just, I'll be as respectful as possible. I live in Austin, but the city in San Antonio was pretty distraught this whole season. It was a long season. When you think of the Spurs way, the Spurs pedigree, you don't think of them losing 60 plus games. And it was ugly. It was an ugly tank job. It was a well-orientated tank job. Our injury list had 10 plus people on it every single day. We were playing G Leaguers 30 plus minutes at the most random times. And, the city was honking. They're honking their horns going through the city. There was a bar that I pulled up 2 hours late to. I drove all the way down to San Antonio after the space was wrapped up, and they had an open bar tab, and everyone was celebrating. The news was there. Everyone was doing interviews, and the city had life again. The Spurs were rumored to move to even Austin, to rebrand to the Las Vegas Lions, and moved to Sin City. Even Mexico City was a rumor. And ideally, what this does, having just a superstar just coming to town, the Spurs have been looked at as boring. The Spurs have been looked at as a team that you don't need to necessarily watch in any shape or form. They're just another team that you just forget about. Nobody knows who our best 4 or 5 players were. People were very disrespectful online. I know he created a target on his head with Rockets fans with the reaction he gave them when he said, "Oh, it's okay. I didn't want to go anyways. It's okay." I literally do believe that this is what the city needed to say, okay, hold up, let's retool here. Let's build a new stadium. They're about to open up a brand new, I don't know how many $1 million practice stadium that is, right in the heart of the city. In the Northwest area, really popping, really a lot of people going there. The tourism is going to go up. They're building up, man. It's a super exciting time, and I'm just going to land my plane there.
It's all good. I respect that. Dude, it's got to be so exciting for you. Part of the other reason I had you on is because the Knicks obviously just lost to the Heat, and I did not want to have to talk about that immediately. So it was good to get you on to share joy and jubilation in any way, shape, or form. So this
Definitely.
is really, really exciting. I wanted to follow that up with, obviously you guys have what, in my opinion, the greatest coach in NBA history, but I would say now he's probably fallen off a little bit. I think Spoelstra is better than Pop at this point, but that's partly because much like LeBron is at the end of his career, for what it's worth, he's not the best player anymore. Pop also near the end of his career. I know your face says a lot about me saying that, but it's okay. You're not at your best when you're at the end, no matter what. And I'll stand by that. But now that Popovich was probably thinking about being a year or two away from retiring, now that he has Wembyama at his age, he's in his early 70s, correct?
He is getting up there. Yes, indeed.
How long do you think he sticks around now for?
We will never know until he speaks for himself. Currently, he flew to France. He's probably landed now. He's probably going to meet with Wemby today, and that's going to be discussed. I remember even before I covered the team, during the bubble, Coach Pop, the playoff streak ended. People were super sad, and his contract was up then. His wife had actually just sadly passed away. And it was a tough time. It was a really, really tough time. I remember one of my friends, Tyler. He worked for the team in the ticket office. Coach Pop came, and it was like a parade they threw. The team came back. Everyone was like lined up in a row. He shook everyone's hand, and then like at the end, he gave one long good wave goodbye, and everybody thought that was it. He had nothing to work for, maybe besides the title, the number one win record that he got. All right, that's done.
Yep.
Got it. I would not be surprised if he came back, and I also wouldn't be surprised if he took another role in the organization. And I want you to think of this coaching tree here that's available in the market. Monty Williams, Coach Bud, James Borrego. Frick it. Bring in the big man coach Tiago Splitter. There's so many options in terms of solidifying not just I don't want to say it's Pop's last ride, but because Brett Brown is there, he could be a good head coach. I really wanted Quinn Snyder. But what about if I told you there's a guy in the West Coast, used to be a Spur, has championship pedigree, knows what it takes. I don't know what it would take. I don't even know his contract situation. But I'm looking at Steve Kerr. I'm looking at him. I'm saying, are the Warriors still a dynasty after the season? Is Clay going to take less money? Is Jordan Poole going to get traded? Steph's still going to be there. He's not going back home to Charlotte. He's going to be a Warrior for life. But is Steve Kerr willing to stick around? That's been in. I think Landon, my good friend Landon Buford, sent me his own article. And I gave it a retweet a couple of days ago, and I thought about it, never really considered it. But in terms of being the coach for the future, I would want a young, emerging talent like Victor Wembyama. Don't sleep on that.
So you don't think that Steve Kerr wants to stick around for Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody to take the leap at any given point? Is that what you're telling me? I wanted to ask you because I saw I saw your face when I did say that, Spoelstra. I saw your face when I said that Spoelstra. I think Spoelstra is currently the best coach in the NBA, and he passed Pop. Do you want to give a rebuttal? Because I just think Pop in the past couple of years, whether it's through the team management side, whether that was for them to retool and rebuild and tank. I mean, am I off base by saying that I think Spoelstra is the best now, or?
I don't watch Miami Heat basketball. I remember there was a phase in the LeBron era where I was a LeBron stan, and I even was tweeting against the Spurs. If you want to try and find those tweets, they're all deleted. I'm sorry, they're all deleted. But that was the last time. That was the last time. I think I was in high school. I believe I was. Yeah. So that's fun fact. If you didn't know, if you know, you know. But anyways, all I watch is Spurs basketball for the most part, and obviously scouting. But in terms of the play style and the schemes that they run, Coach Pop has a perimeter-centric offense that pretty much is a pick and roll, dribble, handoff, galore show. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Those are basic reads, right? We have guys that literally half our roster should have been in the G League last year, right? We're even though we were tied for the record, we were the worst team by far. We just knew how to win games because we had the greatest coach of all time. And basically, Basically, this is the breakdown. If you want to imagine a pick and roll offense where, okay, it's you have a pick and roll option, you have a guy that you can find in the corner, you have off uh, cross court action, elevator screens, baseline cuts, anybody going, you have to be able to find your guy in stride and be able to make those reads. Only certain people can make those reads. Only certain guys are able to finish at the rim, have efficient flow games. And I know Tim Duncan made the system look great. I know Kawhi won a Finals MVP after a couple years. I know that the Spurs way is a lot of people, even Spurs fans hate it. They want to have a whole rebrand. They want to bring in chaos. They want to bring in Ben Simmons. They want to sign Rudy Gobert. They want to spend money just to spend money on anyone and anything.
Who
Knowing
watches the
that just,
Minnesota Timberwolves this year and wants that to happen to them? What the hell?
come on, man, not speak on it. But anyways, when it comes down to it, Coach Pop and his pedigree and the second options that he creates on offense and the versatility that he needs on defense to win championships. The players even said it himself. I forgot what the percentage was, but the polls, people want to play for Coach Pop. He think he takes the best out of you. He makes the best out of any situation. Now he's gonna pressure you. He's gonna test you. There's gonna be ways where you think he's attacking you. But he wants you to be the best man that you can be. He wants you to be the role model that you can be. And in a sense, Richard Jefferson has said it. I know Steven Jackson is blabbering his mouth in the media to this day. But even he is now riding around that circle and committing the Spurs for being not just a professional team that changes career, but literally a franchise that is how do I say it? It's not the prime example of what a franchise should be, but it's an option. You can choose the glamorous, flashy, big market team, or you can go with the orientated, family style, just goody goody. I call it Christian boy basketball. Okay, that's what I call it. Right now, people hate that term, but at the end of the day, it's a very very stale, boring offense where you wait to the last shot. It's the best available shot, and at the end of the day, people don't like to watch it. But it's a beautiful game, and we just need people that can fulfill those roles to sustain and showcase that it is still you're still able to win a championship playing that type of basketball.
100%. I'm actually glad you brought up you can either be in this major small market that actually knows how to do everything the right way. I love the term Christian basketball. I love that. I'm going to steal that from you. I remember watching as a kid, like the first time I ever really picked up the NBA was the Knicks Spurs NBA finals in like 99, 2000. And I'm a little kid watching and I'm like, the Knicks are playing like this gritty, grimy defense with Marcus Camby and Kurt Thomas out there and Sprewell in Houston. And the Spurs are just moving the ball around beautifully. And they all just do little layups and Tim Duncan does bank shots. And I'm like, this one team looks way more fun than the other team. And I'm cheering for the team that looks more fun from New York. And they got their tires blown off. It was horrendous to watch as a little kid. And to use the example that you could either do that or go to the big market, the Lakers and Spurs have the same amount of titles in the past like 25 years, which I think is a great analogy for you could literally do one or the other if you find the two of the most successful franchises of our lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get back to Wemby though, and Wembyama.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've all seen a lot of him this year through like clips, highlights. The putback on the dunk gets referenced 1,000 times since it's happened. It's like a guy takes 2 strides. He's from the 3-point line to dunk. And we already saw Giannis be able to do that, but we've never seen Giannis do it on a 3, mostly because he can't take a 3 that is going to bounce off the rim that reliably.
Careful
if you
now.
were to put together,
no,
yeah, exactly. If you were to put together a bunch of like, what comps are there if you were to take like 3 or 4 current NBA players to turn them into Victor Wembyama in any way, shape, or form?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. Victor Wembyama has gazelle-like strides. We need to see how long his legs are. That needs to be a measurement. I know that may sound weird, but like this guy literally can probably touch in the end of an average car, honestly, which is just insane. To think that to say that we've never seen anyone like this before is a true statement. That's a great question. I'm not gonna say Kevin Durant on offense, Rudy Gobert on defense. That's accurate, fair. Wemby moves like a wing. He's gonna play power forward. He's not gonna play center. He has a lazy style of play. If I'm being completely honest, at Mets 92, it is a complete. I'm in my zone. No one can stop me. I'm literally uh I have 6 inches above everybody else, and I'm literally a video game character. He plays like he's playing at LA Fitness. He brings up the ball, cross dribble between running, fading away to the side, running floater from 3.
Those are
Swish.
ridiculous shots.
Like I just, you know, having a great face-up game, having such huge hands. Everybody's played with a Nerf basketball. That's literally Wemby. Wemby's playing with a Nerf basketball, and it's so easy to shoot with that. It's so easy to dunk with that. It's so you don't have to jump. That's the comparison. That's literally the comparison. So not having to worry about um, his frame is a question. Not having to worry about his mobility and his aggression. Like I said, he plays a lazy style of basketball. Yeah, he'll talk. He'll lock in. He doesn't have really any glaring off the court issues. No, we would have been hearing that. Somebody would have pushed that galore, saying, "Scoot number one, Wemby's a wimp." Like, but I literally think
I'm aggregating that. That's happening right now.
Literally, just on defense, he's like I said, he's not going to play center. He's 230 soaking wet, and at the end of the day, you have somebody that's going to be a roamer. Now, let's not just imagine zone defense. Let's just imagine Wemby defense. All right, so it's a matchup zone. Wemby's just roaming around the middle, and you have a defensive anchor. Now, Jakob Poeltl would have been great next to Wemby, right? Jakob Poeltl's a great slept-on playmaker, right? Backdoor cut, zoom, Jakob Poeltl hitting you in stride, instant. The thing is, Wemby has such a wide range, such a load across the court that the offense is gonna have to come up with ways that they're gonna have trainers with those paddles that they use to block people's shots in practice to try and get prepared for what type of defensive scheme that the Spurs are gonna run. And it's exciting. It's super exciting. Now I know, like I said at the beginning of the of the podcast, that he's creating a target on his back. Rockets fans are saying, I was in a space the other day, they're saying we need to sign Dylan Brooks just to do what Dylan Brooks does against. I'm like, okay, y'all are insane. Y'all are just
He's gonna
insane.
punch his legs. He's
literally like I don't, man. And at the end of the day, Wemby, this is a fun fact. Wemby has never, he probably has, but that's what they said. He doesn't lift weights. He doesn't lift weights. All calisthenics. He's ripped. He's toned. He's in good shape.
His arms and legs kind of look like that, though. Honestly,
he's not an any well flail. He's not soft. He doesn't have a butt gut. He doesn't have a bird chest. Even though he does, it's toned. It's ripped. He's defined. And at the end of the day, his trainers, he's a superstar. This guy has had, the minute he goes to the bench, there's someone with a massage gun ready to like he's basically had anything and everything prepared for him, and he knows what to do. Whether if it's a toe exercise, a hand exercise, an ankle band exercise, anything and everything that he's done to prepare himself. It was over a year ago since his last major injury, and
wow.
he's missed time. He's missed time. Now he's granted for prevention reasons. The league he plays in with Mets 92, they only average maybe 1 to 2 games a week. In the NBA, there's 80 plus games, man, you got to play. And, with the new CBA rules, I want you to win Rookie of the Year now. It's not the end of the world if you don't, but I want you to see on the floor. He may not play in the summer league. He may suit up for Team France over the summer, and we may see him against maybe NBA level competition. I don't want to put him on a minutes restriction per se, but good gosh, I have OKC fans. I have a lot of personal friends. In terms of Chet, you said name a build that's like him. Chet has played against Wemby a couple times. Chet moves like Wemby. They have the long, gazelle-like strides, like I said. In terms of being the prime shot defer and the prime shot blocker, being able to block a shot. Is this a visual? Can we do visuals?
Yeah, you can do it. We have YouTube. Yeah, you're good.
I want you to imagine, Anthony Davis did a few weeks ago. He blocked the shot twice from his backhand and his forehand. Wemby will be able to block shots with his forearm on accident. And people are gonna be okay. So I'm just double downing and just talking into a void here. The thing with Wemby is you need to remember 27, 28 minutes a night. Hopefully, I know you remember this. You remember when Coach Pop benched the big three and everyone was so mad in Miami that they couldn't see Tim Duncan, Manu, and Tony? Hell would have braised, especially if it was in the Garden, especially if it was in a big market and 4 hours before the game. Victor Wembyama's not suiting up. Ankle rest. Yeah. Well, in terms of building his brand, in terms of assuring that like all the stars are in line and assessing what he can be and what he should be and what he needs to be at the right time, I feel like the Spurs are literally the perfect team. It's the perfect position. He's going to be the first option. A lot of rumors are just swirling around of what they want to do. They possibly want to bring in other veteran front court pieces. Obviously, Jeremy Sohan could play, a little bit of, I don't want to say secondary, a backup point guard, but in the closing lineup, the versatility galore with Devin Vassell. A lot of people are saying trade Keldon Johnson. Do Knicks fans want Keldon Johnson? Do you guys want to give me Quentin Grimes in a pick or something like that? I don't know. Maybe. I literally think that one of these days, knowing that teams can make trades now, the Spurs are going to be super aggressive. The draft is not for a good while. Draft day trades are going to happen. It's going to be super exciting. And Spurs fans were trying to find Brian Wright himself and begging him to make a trade when he first stepped into office. And then all the Kawhi stuff happened. All the DeJounte stuff happened. And now we're really set up with the number one prospect, a load of cap space, young talent, and options. And we're cooking, man. It's a super exciting time.
Evan, I have 3 more questions for you. And thank you for coming on again. And this is really exciting for one of us because the other one cheers for a team that doesn't even have a pick at all this year. Although we did have Tom Thibodeau show up to watch the NBA draft combine, which is slightly hilarious to think about when he's the coach and their team doesn't have a pick. I know trades can happen, like you just said, but still really, really funny to think about that he showed up and they have no pick.
I truly do believe you guys can move in this draft. I have Mavericks fans that are gonna hate me for saying this, but y'all don't deserve that pick. You really don't.
They don't.
They truly don't. They really don't. And I know it's randomized and everybody's like to say it's rigged. Can I say this real quick?
Yeah.
I truly do think that some way, somehow, that this was rigged for the Spurs. Jeremy Sohan played with Wemby when they were teenagers at some French camp, apparently, and he didn't say that the whole season. He knew. It's not like you didn't know who it was. You knew.
Yeah.
He knew the lottery gods. The media wouldn't like the cockiness, even though he's tweeting about LeBron last night, taking all the bullets and the quotes. Really, I want to say.
And then what about Tony Parker and Boris Diaw being on the team in major parts?
Okay, not only that, but it was Tony Parker's birthday, the day before the lottery. And the day of the lottery, it was our CEO's. And he had his chair. I don't know if you've heard that story. He had his chair, the same blue chair that he won the lottery in with David Robinson, delivered from his daughter, who took it to college. They haven't seen it in over decades. And 4 hours before the draft, it's in his hotel room, sitting there with a note saying "Good luck."
What?
Come on now, man.
Oh my God, man. The universe works in mysterious ways, as in some things can be easily set up and rigged in various ways of numbers. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. But I mean, you can make the numbers do whatever you want if it's a lottery no one watches. Am I right? Oh my God. Evan, so yeah, I have a couple more questions. First off, 2 of them are about Wemby, and then one of them is about the Knicks. The last one, the Knicks one is kind of a joke, but just to kind of throw it out there. This is a Knicks podcast. I have to make it somewhat Knicks-centric. First off, I know you were talking about his build. He does calisthenics. He's already been worked out like a superstar. He has great trainers. He is 7'5", weighing 230 pounds, 225 pounds, and has extremely long legs, as you referenced. Like even before the dunk video, we all saw the video of him walking over 2 sets of the stands to get to a fan. One step got 2 rows back. Like that's insane. How much are you worried, or anyone in your fan base, like, well, who's the most pessimistic person and how worried are they about him holding up at least 70 games a year for the next like 10 to 15 years of this man's career.
Yeah, so I think I said it earlier. They only play 1 or 2 games max in that pro league in Paris. And when you think about it, so many 7+ guys who I hate to say this, who didn't know how to take care of their body, had their career, abruptly ended. I hate to say it, but Wemby is very. It looks like he can bend and snap very easily. I'm not gonna lie, and that's just if he falls on his wrist. Hopefully, he knows how to fall back like Joel Embiid and flop. People are gonna hate him for flopping. Oh my god! But he has to protect his body. That's gonna be a thing. That is already a thing. I should have mentioned that earlier. But here's the thing: if he gets hurt, you have to keep Spurs fans in touch with what the absolute heck is going on. I have a short story. Okay. I have a friend who used to work at the AT&T Stadium when Kawhi Leonard was on his last few months in town. Kawhi Leonard would walk around the mall, hair undone, not trying to talk to fans, not trying to take any photos, just would in a beat around car. His uncle would menace with people in the media. And literally it was Tony Parker who said, "Hey man, I have the same injury. You're good to come back. Why don't you come back now?" And Kawhi got so mad and he wanted to rehab himself. He wanted to do it his own way. If Wemby is hurt, make sure he has the best surgeon. He's already seen all the best doctors in the world, all the best doctors in Europe. His medicals came back fine. There's nothing glaring. Nothing is glaring right now. But man, I probably will delete my Twitter if he gets hurt during the summer. I'm not gonna lie. I probably will delete my Twitter. At least temporarily.
Then you better hope that Chet Holmgren does not happen to him.
I hate to wish bad juju, and I hate to just speak on that, but like it would be hell. It would be hell. I'm not gonna lie. So, can he stay healthy for his whole career? We'll see. I have no idea. I'm not a doctor. I have back spasms myself. I'm only 6'1", and ideally, you just don't know. That's the best way to put it. It's likely. People want to say it's highly likely. Those kind of rumors are kind of debunked now, and people haven't said that in over a year. So he'll be fine. We'll see how his legs hold up. His core is nice intact. And when you bulk up, you lose a little bit of your touch. One thing that's super, super scary is monitoring Wemby and knowing that he can't get super swole. He's gonna imagine that. That's gonna look weird. A 7'5" swole jack man like that. That's not gonna fly. He's gonna lose everything. He's gonna lose within year 4 or 5 of that happening. He's not gonna be able to run. So yeah. But I know you have one more question, and feel free to throw out anything, man. This is I'm having a great time. This is a great conversation.
Evan, I love it, man. Like I said, I wanted to feel joy and jubilation and not talk about the Knicks for at least 1 week of my life because Jimmy Butler made me really sad and Eric Spoelstra ruined my life. I have actually the list. I looked up the tallest NBA players ever. George Morrison was 7'7", only played 300 games over 8 years, so he missed a lot of time. Manute Bol, as we all know, also 7'7", played 9 years, 600 games in the 9 years. Taco Fall is still kind of trying to play, but also through his height and ability, he just hasn't been able to catch on too much. Yao Ming and Sean Bradley were both 7'6". As we all know, Bradley actually played the most out of any of the guys on this list, like from a game played basis, but we also all know he was a career backup center, so he didn't actually play as much as a lot of these guys. Yao Ming played 10 years, only played 480 games, so it's averaging 48 games a year.
Yeah,
half the time. So it's just like, this is definitely something we all have to worry about. And Yao Ming weighed 310. Sean Bradley weighed 275. Taco Fall weighs over 300. Manute Bol, who is probably the one that was the scariest based on these builds, was actually lighter than Wemby's listed at. He was 7'7", 200 pounds. Yep. That's being a total twig. Like he was bound to get hurt throughout his career, unfortunately. Like you said, I hope it doesn't happen to Wemby. We hear the hyperbole saying like Chris Broussard talked to people Wojciechowski's talked to people like he has a chance of being the best player on offense and defense by year 3. That seems like total hyperbole to me, honestly. I think to expect, regardless of his height or ability, expect anyone to be the absolute best in the league by the time they're 22 years old is a huge ask for guys that train 24/7, 365, the absolute best of the best. The last question I wanted to ask you is Knick centric. And I know the answer is 0. We couldn't sell you MSG, every single player we had. We couldn't sell you all of our like all-stars in their prime, maybe, unless we were able to give you like Clyde Frazier and Willis Reed in their prime. But in what crazy NBA 2K trade scenario would X amount of Knicks be able to turn into a Wembyama?
Victor would have had to have been slapped by Coach Popovich. His family would have had to have a Nike contract been leaked or something wrong, just done wrong, something completely wrong, knowing that this was a match made in heaven and scripted. And knowing that and knowing that the Knicks, the big market Knicks, of all people at the end of this package, get Victor Wembyama. You can keep Julius Randle. You might as well keep Mitch Robinson. You need a point guard. Give me JB. Bring his dad too. Bring his dad.
I think they come as a package deal anyway.
It's looking at possibly on the lines of all your possible picks. In terms of possible first round picks, so you can't trade back-to-back years, but all the possible first round picks you can give up.
I think we have 7 tradable, so you can take all 7. There you go.
Quentin Grimes, and this is with multiple other teams have to be involved. It can't just be a straight up 1 to 2. But yeah, that is just insane to even consider. And somebody tweeted this other day: the Spurs can make a trade with any team now. Technically, you can make a trade with any team. And keep Wemby necessarily. I know that sounds wild, but the leverage that the Spurs have, and people, it's like a high school relationship with GMs and upper management. Some of these guys have bad blood with each other. Some of these guys made one another, and teams don't like to trade with one another. The Spurs have only traded with Atlantic Conference teams, Boston, Toronto, a little bit of Denver, and maybe even their own in division with New Orleans, just for a Josh Richardson, Devontae Graham swap.
Right.
But literally ever since Brian Wright took over a couple years ago, it's only been the same handful of teams. So I don't know, but that's just off the rail. I know that's just a joke, but I just think that if the Spurs can keep Wemby happy, it's not just bringing in a bunch of Frenchies, right? It's not his teammates, it's not Bilal or his agency made in Ryan Repair in the draft. People want to trade up for them. I'm really tweeting about that right now. But it's literally bringing in not Rudy Gobert. It's like a guy like Nicholas Batum. It's a guy like Tony Parker coming back who actually hated the Spurs organization as a whole, made amends, and that's what everybody was worried about. Tony Parker was going to talk nonsense to Wemby on his former team, transferred to Boris Diaw's team, and now it's all good. I can't wait for that photo. That photo is going to go crazy. Everyone just smiling. Yeah, and it's the Spurs have a rebrand coming, man. The Spurs have a full-on rebrand coming. The white and black boring jerseys may stick around for another year, but after that, you have to think about how you're going to market yourself. I told you the new stadium, anything and everything on the lines of just trying to get ready for all the possibilities. I want you to imagine Selena Gomez, right? We don't have a lot of rappers in San Antonio. Right? Selena Gomez and Pedro Pascal rocking that number 1 Victor Wembanyama jersey. Know that we can bring all the star power you guys have, but it's just that's what we need to prepare for. So it's gonna be super fun.
Evan, last question I'll ask you, and then I'll get you out of here. To use the Knicks fake trade thing as like a jumping point to get this.
Mm-hmm.
Who, and assuming salaries did not matter, who is the worst player that the Spurs would even consider trading for Wemby? Is it like Luka Doncic? Is it like literally Giannis, Jokic, or no one?
Man.
Is it nobody? Like how good is this dude expected to be versus what already exists as the best players in the league?
So when you think of first overall picks, you have to think of guys that don't have a lot of holes in the game and the guys that can give you 20 plus points and be two-way threats.
So not
Can't be a
Anthony Bennett.
no. Um, and it would basically be, do you have superstar potential? The floor is basically like Orlando, all their picks and all their young core, I guess. And like the highest would just be I don't want to say Luca, just disgruntled. I would say, oof, I can't think of a single team, honestly. I would say like a superstar that would want a new outing in terms of maybe like some people in Minnesota, not Rudy Gobert. I can't do that, but
So Anthony
man,
Edwards is what you'd be inferring to.
and Anthony Edwards, Cat, and then there it has to be a combination of two guys that could be superstars, in some form of way. Yeah, so one of those.
Insane to think about that this dude that hasn't even played a single minute in the NBA yet is worth multiple all NBA potential players. Just crazy how I know, and like I said before, it's like they've already been reported by multiple people that talk to NBA GMs and guys in the league that they expect him to be all NBA within the first 2 years and one of the best players within the first 4 years, like one of the 3 to 5 best players in the first 4 years of the league. So it makes sense, but I'm knock on wood for you. I wish the Spurs the best. I really do worry about a dude that's 7'5" that weighs 230 pounds. And we just haven't seen it last. We just haven't seen it last that long, you know? Even
It's very true.
Kristaps, who the Knicks drafted obviously a while back, is on the Wizards now after the Dallas Mavericks, who somehow managed to keep all their picks even after trading all their players. Even he can't make it through the season most of the time, and he probably has the closest build to Wemby that actually gets active minutes in the league. So it's just, I worry. I'm excited. I'm sure same with all Spurs fans, yourself included. I worry and I'm excited for you guys. But yeah, Evan, just any last words, and then where people can find you and Spurs Project at.
Yeah, so you can just follow me on Twitter at Evan Townsend _. That's really the only social media I use. Shout out to Project Spurs. These guys have been treating me very well since I joined. Look, I just do spaces. If you tweet at me, I will more than likely reply to you as long as it's not nonsense or disrespect. If you have any questions, I can attest to you in the DMs. Pretty much, I like to consider myself one of the only relatable. I don't want to be just like
Humble brag, man. I'm ready for it.
Super witty, super charismatic draft guys that just loves the game, that just wants to see people enjoy the process. Like there's a lot of people in the draft community that maybe not will reach back to you, take it super serious. And while I take it super serious, it's all about a learning process. You want to learn about what these guys can and cannot do. And there's a lot of gatekeeping. So you're not going to get that from me. Just, you want to give me a follow, I got you back. Trust me. And that's about it.
Evan, thank you so much for coming on. You heard it here first. RJ, Randall, Grimes, Mitch, and 5 first rounders for Wemby. Let's get it done. Let's go Knicks. Peace.